Welcome back to match day number 16, here with the real Elverman 23, ready to jump in towards map number 2. For it is going to be cobblestone between Immortals as well as compLexity. I'm fairly certain one of my words was not meant to go in there.
Was it Goon by any chance?
I didn't mention Goon this time.
Oh, all right.
We'll leave the Goon analogies for later.
Yeah, maybe we should think of a new thing for cobblestone. I don't know. We'll think about it.
Cobblestone, we have called Cobblestone now.
Cobber.
Oh,
Cobblestone.
I don't know how we didn't think of this. Like, we had an entire season of Pro League where we watched Renegades play it, and not a single time do we call it Cobblestone.
This is now our 3rd season of Pro League that we've done, I'm pretty sure.
I've only done one. I've only done one.
Well, then how have I not thought of it already?
Terrible.
3 seasons.
You're out of here, Elfish guy. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
No, stay. I need you here.
I will leave.
Otherwise,
I'll go back to bed.
Otherwise, the stream will just listen to my insane ramblings where I can't even chain words together. But let's get back in towards let's get back towards the proper order of things. So compLexity did go down in the first map, 16-9.
Yes, indeed.
But Immortals, it was just... I just feel so bad for compLexity because Immortals were just pugging it up. And what do you do in that stage where you're getting out-aimed and outplayed?
It felt way, way too easy, really, for Immortals, didn't it? Like, there was not really any resistance being put up by compLexity. I mean, I think Android had a couple of okay rounds there. Def had a couple of okay rounds. But realistically speaking, it could have just as easily been something like a 16-6, 16-3 even for Immortals had the pistol rounds gone their way or had their anti-eco or that anti-force buy in the second round of the map gone their way, which, you know, there was some sort of weird stuff going on there. So, I mean, yeah, definitely could have been a very, very quick map actually there for Immortals, but ends up being 16-9. I suppose not the worst of scenarios really for compLexity, but given the position that they're in the standings right now, it's pretty much, they're in dire need of getting a 1-1 here. If they go down 0-2, it's just going to be, again, another nail in the coffin for them. And it's going to be great for Immortals, though, to be able to get that 2-0, put themselves up a little bit more. They're sitting at the middle of the pack. That's going to be putting them towards the top middle. And they'll be feeling pretty good after a 2-0. I mean, we're moving on to Cobblestone, like you said, which, realistically speaking, should favour Immortals quite a bit here. It's been a good map for them recently. It's been a good map for them in the past, even last season. Obviously, the roster's quite different, but I would say Cobblestone was one of their better maps last season as well. So looking forward to seeing how Immortals is going to go on this map because I think they're going to do pretty well.
I was going to argue that most Brazilian teams play Cobblestone very, very well. It's one of their staple map picks. Let's take a quick look at the schedule for today. I mean, and what has also happened over on the mainstream. Misfits in the lead, 12-7. Against SK Gaming on Cache. Meanwhile, over here, it was a 16-9 for Immortals, not for compLexity. And yeah, they'll be strolling forward on towards Cobblestone. I reckon Immortals will be very confident taking this out 2-0, but I don't expect to see anything too fascinating out of them. It will just be a very quick stomp, I would say, for Immortals. It just depends on how, like, whether or not any members of compLexity can step up, and they really need to do. Ye was effectively missing for a lot of the game. I mean, Peter definitely had a shocker on the T side of the AWP, but not much that you can really do when the rest of your team, I mean, sure, you can get a few entries, but they were just too predictable. Immortals are pushing in for information, and they can't let this happen to them on Cobblestone.
Yeah, like we've sort of been talking about Immortals a lot here on Cobblestone, but on the same token, it's actually not an awful map for compLexity, so they will know their way around it. I mean, coming into this, I felt as though Mirage was, you know, obviously compLexity's choice of maps, and it's not a map that Immortals played too much, so you could say, oh, you know, compLexity might be pretty happy with that map. And then coming into map number 2, it's again going to be a map that compLexity should be relatively happy with. So overall, the map pool, or the 2 maps that we see tonight, are not like they're bad maps really for compLexity. It's just that going up against Immortals it's more of a bit of a David and Goliath kind of a battle for them, just individually speaking. They're not going to be able to stand up against those players, and that's I think why we're seeing a lot of the difference being made, not purely because of the map choices favouring compLexity at this point.
It's Mirage. I mean, Mirage is the most open, and anyone playing ECA would probably know that Mirage is like, if you get a Mirage in terms of Pug, you're pretty happy. If you get Cobblestone, it's just kind of like, why? Like, I get Cobblestone sometimes, I'm just like, why? Because Cobblestone is... It's such a weird map at particular points in times. Because, like, as a team, I would probably enjoy playing it because there is, like, particular ways that you're meant to play it. But in a Pug, it's just like, yeah, everyone just rush B. Where's the weakest player playing at? Okay, let's just abuse mercilessly there because there's no coordination. There's no kind of fallbacks. And Cobblestone is one of the maps where the rushes, you can just you know, hard rush somewhere, and a team, if they don't have the contingency measures for it, then they get completely screwed over.
Yeah, like if you lose that bomb site, either bomb site really, it's very easy to shut the CT side out of it. Like on the B site, you put a smoke down in connector, you put a smoke down in drop, and maybe a smoke in plat as well, or you just have someone watching plat, and then it's basically round over. The Ts win on that post-plant situation because the CTs have no time, or they have to push through smokes.
Yeah, it's pretty much down to numbers at a particular point in time and how many counter grenades that each side has, and that's literally it. Plat is so powerful to play on as a post-plant position. You can play behind the box. You're still hidden from drop. You're still hidden from the rock. Even if someone pushes in from B plat, the guy can just shoulder peek it and just play for information around alley. It's so difficult to land the shot. You're going to have to be hoping for a miracle.
Yeah, and it's a similar sort of a situation over on the A-bomb side as well. When the Ts get in there, they can smoke off the rotation from the B-bomb side quite quickly. Maybe someone comes in from ramp, but it's always a difficult position to play from. So it's tough. When the bomb side is taken by the Ts, it can be difficult for the CTs to come in for the rotate, come in for the retake as well. And so, I mean, yeah, that's a problem, I suppose, but I think, yeah, in this kind of a situation, regardless of what side we see coming out for both of these two teams, I would suspect that Immortals is going to have a pretty easy run of it. I don't know what you'd be thinking about, but like for me, in terms of the scoreline, I'd be thinking we're going to probably see again something like a 16-9 or even better for Immortals. It should be wrapped up pretty cleanly.
It depends on the pistols and what sides, I guess, I started on compLexity. They didn't really impress me on the T side, but they did take a victory against Liquid, which is, once again, it brings me towards a compLexity enigma.
Okay, yeah.
Why?
The inconsistency.
It's when they're on, right? When all the players are switched on, when the executes are working out well, when they're able to hold it off, they look so good. They look so good. I'm like, this is a team with a lot of promise. And then games like Mirage, where they get completely blasted, where on the T side, I can't even really fault them on the T side. Normally, I look at it and go, why are they doing? Like, say for example, yesterday, I'd look at it and just go, why? What are they doing? But it wasn't like a scenario of that on Mirage. It was just like they're executing, they're going somewhere, they have a clear game plan. But every single time they tried going for that, Immortals had a person who already pushed up, had the information. And when you have like all the members on Immortals, and legitimately all the members on Immortals were fired up. Like none of them were missing their aim duels, right? Like, you expect Zach to be the weakest member. When he's entering onto the B bomb site solo hand, like, he'll take down your AWP, then he'll take down one more player, and then clean up on Peter. What do you do at that stage, man? Like, what do you do? He's shutting your B. He's, like, taking B site by himself on a buy round.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
I don't have the answers for you, Kevin, unfortunately. I don't think there's going to be an easier situation here for compLexity, though, either on Cobblestone. I mean, if Zach's going to be able to have a similar sort of a performance, then yes, definitely. But even without the AWPs, Cobblestone, like, it is somewhat of an AWP-centric map. You can lock down the B line or the platform line, and then you can lock down the A long area. But even without AWPs, like, Immortals is, if they're not using those AWPs, if they're not feeling it, it's still such a strong map.
This is going to all boil down towards that A-line hold in terms of the AWP. And I swear I've heard the terms A-line hold and A-line push before. But it is all up towards the A-site kind of hold that's going to be coming out from Peter, especially for compLexity. Because yesterday he was able to make a big impact. I would argue against the fact that AWP is so prevalent inside of Cobblestone, because now a lot of teams have like the flashbangs, the smoke grenades going to lock out the sites. So like if you try to play the AWP on B plat, it's effectively either you're looking at smokes for about a good minute, then you get pushed off by a Molotov, and then flashes come over, you're blind out in the open, and it's a shooting gallery. You try to play towards chicken coop, guess what? You're smoked off, there are mollies flying away and flashbangs coming forward. You play statue, you're flashed out, and then by that certain situation, they're all out in plat and just ready to take you down from different angles. So I don't necessarily agree AWP is a great line to be playing on B site anymore. It's definitely great for the B site retake or B site hold if the smokes aren't coming out, and if you're playing A line or on the A site, but you got to hit the shots. And Peter, he's got to be coming in with good form. He's going to feel a little bit better after Mirage on the CT side. But on the T side, it was definitely a really, really rough day for him, especially for like all the AWPers, all the players in compLexity. When Immortals were in that good of a form, there is not much that you can really do once again. And Immortals going to be starting on the T side. compLexity have to show they've got some backbone inside the CT side. Pistol round start off would be nice, but they need to take buy rounds, and let's see how it's going to go.
Right, just the standard buyout from Immortals. Only a single player picking up any kind of utility. That is Zach. Slimmy has gone for defuse kit and smoke. Peter pushing out onto long, gets dinged down, and the rush is coming out from Immortals. They want to chase him down. They will surely catch him, but apparently not. If he gets out through stables, just Android will try and back him up, but Immortals are keen to continue on forward. This is the craziest rush of a round I've seen out from Immortals ever. And Steel does finally take down Peter, but I don't know, I feel like Immortals might have been a little bit too kill hungry on that one. A
little bit too kill hungry, and now it's off to Bolt to kind of make his work happen at the lurk, and he does manage to do so. Destiny, oh my goodness, Destiny, he's been stepping up for Immortals most of the time, and once again, he's going to step up once again. 3 kills. Destiny by name, and his destiny is to slay everyone on compLexity. His opponents will fall before him, and Immortals with the pistol round. Hopefully they don't drop the anti-eco this time.
Yeah, that was a situation probably that compLexity should have won. It seemed as though Immortals were in all sorts, and then Bolts gets the kill on the player rotating from B, and Destiny doing Destiny things over on A. Just a couple of individual strong plays from Immortals turn that pistol round back on its head, and it could be the start of what we sort of expected to see here on compLexity, which is a bit of a lackluster game on Cobblestone. Full buyout really from compLexity though, in terms of what they can afford. Head armor across the board. Yeah, you're missing some, but...
What is going on right now? So compLexity all stacked long A, and Immortals just go straight through drop on towards the A bomb side. compLexity be completely bamboozled at the stage because it's like, hang on, they didn't come through long A. They just must have gone through drop. So now, well, Android can't rotate across. There's a grenade coming forward. Zach can't even farm up. Yace actually gets 2. Okay, so something becomes a little bit more competitive on the side of compLexity. Yeah, I mean, that's where it comes a little bit alive, but there's a crossfire angle. Destiny is a little bit messy, but Horby's also going to jump in now. And Android, it's up to him to do some damage coming in from Vent Room. And he'll be able to take down one, but not before Horby as well as Bolts will be able to clean up. And now Bolts, well, it would have been a little bit iffy if there was a headshot landed with the Desert Eagle, but it wasn't to be, and it's a little bit messy inside of compLexity, given that ESL were able to get 2 picks very early on and make it scary for Immortals.
Yeah, a little bit expensive for Immortals, but overall shouldn't be too bad.
5 bullets, 5 hits. You don't normally see that with a Desert Eagle.
No. Destiny goes for a MAC-10 of his own. So he's actually dropped that AK over to someone else.
Yeah, he stayed alive, so instead of investing so heavily, you might as well get a MAC-10 and farm up on the guy that's the richest. And once again, they're going to be stacking towards long A, going down, dropping into B side. Only Android with some resistance with a P250. Should be spotted out. There it is. That's a very common spot now for any player to pre-fire. Pop Plant trying to hide the head. And Zach, oh no, he's going to lose the AK. That's so unfortunate. He's got to at least take a few members down, but he won't be able to do so. AK should be saved on the side of compLexity. Still already though, making sure that they come back through slope, and compLexity just stuck in the middle of the open courtyard. There is nowhere for them to go. They're going to have to duel it out, and it's just how much damage can they do to the side of Immortals. There's another counter flashbang coming forward, looking to do some further damage. It shouldn't be... Well, it is Peter actually holding on to the AK-47, and now people pushing in through long A alongside with just middle slope. Oh, depth is his gun has been spotted out. Yace is going to fall. All up to Peter to hold this as the bomb finally goes down on the A bomb site. And they're still chasing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if they're going to chase him down here. It does look as though they will. Bolt's heading in one direction, Steel another. And the crossfire, at least down, giving away the position of Steel. And despite one more gun going down for Immortals, it's worth it. Keeps the gun out of the hands of compLexity and forces them to fully buy in. 3,800 on Slemmy, so his buy is going to be a little bit lackluster. Probably expecting to see a UMP out of that one. Maybe the M4 with no head armor, but that means he's just got no utility. So... realistically speaking, that's really not the ideal scenario for him either. I mean, a couple of kind of expensive anti-ecos there for Immortals, but they do secure the 3-0, which is definitely better than what they started off with in the first map, where they did secure also that first pistol round. So far so good, I think, for Immortals.
Fire round coming forward now for both sides. Oh, you're enjoying the beats.
Yeah, mate. I'm trying to wake myself up.
It's not been a great morning for poor Jordan over here. No. I mean, it doesn't start off well. We get called in early. Towards a game that necessarily wouldn't have been casting initially on. Yeah. And then you run out of milk for your wheat bix.
I know. It was just
disastrous. It's used water. Yep. Oh, that's disastrous. Slemmy, he definitely had water in his wheat bix because he just gets shot through the edge of the smoke. Yeah. Oh, no. Look, at least you may have had a bad norming. Now Slemmy's going to have a bad evening over there in America because they've just lost A-site very, very quickly. And that's what I mean. Yep. Immortals, you can play very explosively, and if compLexity don't have a countermeasure in terms of falling back and mitigating a lot of this aggression, then it spells a little bit of disaster, and they don't have the utility to kind of take this mid-slope control. So Android just has to make a play, and he will make a play, gets a lot of crucial information, might be able to catch some of the players off guard if he is able to land these shots. There it is. Lands at least a kill towards Horby to equalize the situation. Depth will be able to take down Bolts on the back of a B-side. B-plat push, and Destiny won't be able to time that well. Still just walks out and takes down Android. So they're still going back to the A site. Really messy coming out from Immortals. Caught out off guard by the push from compLexity. And they should be able to hold it. They've got all the members on the A site that they need.
Yeah, well, it is 2 versus 3, which is obviously favorable for compLexity, but You really can't back out Immortals in this situation. Def might give away a frag, but won't just. Yes, he does. Finally, Steel picks up that frag, but now 2v1 as the trades come out for compLexity. And that looked like it was going to end a lot better for Immortals. At the start of it, they picked up the first pick, and then compLexity one by one find the Immortals players and drop them like flies. So the first round does go the way of compLexity, but Immortals here will be able to afford to buy through.
I'd say this build, just go with this build, okay, with this buy, just go full YOLO mode, man. There's no need to kind of just chill out and just wait for compLexity to do something. You know compLexity's buy is not going to be the best. You've taken a few guns out. Might as well go fast on the back of these smokes fading. Until then, we'll just have a little bit of a nap and just make sure that Elfish Guy doesn't take a nap for too long.
I think a nap would sound very nice right about now, Kevin. I'll just go over here.
Yeah. It is going to be a B-side execute regardless, but the real question is just when is it going to come out? There is still great incendiary grenades on the side of compLexity used to kind of hold off this push, but Destiny's just gotten drop room for relatively a cheap price. I say relatively, considering that they didn't have to expend that much. But this is a really good crossfire coming out from Android as well as Depth. Where Depth can just stay hidden, Destiny will peek out, but they're going to have to back out. Incendiary Grenade comes out. Great timing. Rest of Immortals now coming over towards the B-bomb site, and Depth finds the wrong timing because his head's going to get blown off by Destiny, who's been so sharp in the entry so far. Horby should be able to get the trade. There it is. Horby gets another trade, and Horby gets the second on towards the offer as well. So just like that, B-site's going to be lost. Horby with the triple.
Yep, that's a nice one from Immortals because it does reset the economy from compLexity. We'll have to see the double eco out of them as well here.
This is painful.
Great job on that one. Getting the trade, getting the second and the third as well. So 3 kills on that B-bomb site for him. This is shaping up very, very nicely right now for Immortals. Forced buy out from compLexity, which kind of makes sense given the double eco was on the cards. But you have to think that this is really not going to work out too nicely for compLexity. With this buy, they don't really have anything to work with.
Yeah, they're just going to straight towards the B side. There's the Molotov. There is the flashbang. The A start dueling close. Does a little bit of damage, but Bolts is stepping up to the challenge, and they're still holding drop for now. They're actually going to jump off the boost, and they're pushing up through alley. Android's got a UMP. If he finds the headshot, there's one, but Horvey with the AWP is going to be striking alongside with Steel and Slemmy. The Slemnog is just left with the P250.
Slemdog?
Yeah, that's the...
Slemdog millionaire.
Yep. Well, he's going to have to look up to rack up some huge bills to kind of pay for his team, but it's not going to work out. compLexity, 4 USPs the next round after this force buy, and Immortals effectively racing to a 6-1 lead because they're not even taking their time really in these rounds. They're just going in fast, and why not? Like, there is no need to wait around. I think the word is there is no need to pussyfoot around and wait when you can just take the fight towards your opponents and just go full peak CS mode.
Yep, definitely. That's what Immortals is doing right now. Again, perhaps Zach might get overwhelmed here over towards A if compLexity does push out through long. Here's that solo hold, but with the M4A4, might be able to spray down a few. Does eventually fall off the line and starts, it's not really a rotate over towards B, but holds a little bit of a safer line here. So compLexity might not be expecting him in that position that he is at, as he's going to hear this rotation.
He can hear all of them at the moment, and the question is how many he can pick off from this position. He's made a lot of noise, though, rotating across, and has Destiny helping him out. So he knows at the very least compLexity is there, but shouldn't be wide swinging. He's got backup, though, now, coming in from slope, and look at that. They're all pushing for kills right now. Immortals, they're all trying to steal the stats with each other, and why not? Because you'd be so confident at this stage. There you have it. All of them dead. Normally, you'd see a team normally go, okay, they're on the pistols, let's just play back a little bit, but not Immortals. They're all like, all right, I've got to get the kills, and Zach is currently losing in the frag race. Looks like he might be having to clean the dishes at the Immortals gaming house tonight.
That is not where he wants to be. Although, if you consider map number 1, perhaps he's still ahead. Depends.
Imagine that. Imagine if Immortals actually went, okay, we've got a lot of dishes to clean up today, because we've left it for a couple of days playing some Counter-Strike. So whoever does the worst is going to have to clean up. And look at this. Once again, switch up coming in from Immortals. Fast up mid. Slemmy's going to hear this eventually. Oh, no, he's not going to hear it. He just dies and Steel. Destiny, that's your teammate. Don't shoot Steel.
Well,
Steel would have just been like, what the heck? Why are you shooting me?
What the heck? Why you do that? I don't know if he would have said that. He probably would have said something in Brazilian. I wonder what the heck is in Brazilian.
It is me, your friend, not your enemy.
I don't
Regardless,
think that's what it is.
Yeah, well, complexity will have to look to save one more time, and Immortals is just like, yeah, let's go here, let's go over there. Where they're going to go next? They don't even need to visit a tourism advisor. They're just taking a free trip. It's like, you know, when you go, it's like, here, would you like to visit these sites? No, thanks. I'll just take a look myself.
Yep.
That's effectively Immortals right now. And complexity are just, sure, here's a free pass.
Yeah.
Free admittance.
Thanks, complexity. Nice guys. Now Immortals are going to try and steal some guns away from complexity here. Perhaps Def will go down. Destiny needs to peek around quickly and will. The trade not quite there in time though, so complexity are able to take those 3 guns through, which is actually quite crucial. It is going to bolster their buy a little bit, and so it's a salvageable buy here into round number 9, but the way that Immortals are looking at 7-1, I don't really see it working out, regardless of what kind of a buy complexity have got.
Yeah, so Horvy's gone towards A line, or A side, sorry, towards the courtyard to most likely try to get a pick on towards Peter, and then the rest of Immortals are just going to go full force in towards drop, and I don't know how complexity haven't read the fact that Immortals are just coming out full force. They're going to go straight out through the column. Peter will probably meet a few AKs in his head if he decides to overextend, but he's just going to dance around the doors, which is a pretty strong position, and now it's up to Horvy to win this duel. Bolts are still locking down the angle. There's 3 members on the B side, 2 on A. It's Peter who has to make something happen. Horvy finds Slemmy trying to push forward. Whoa. Oh, what a flick coming out from Peter. Flick of the wrist, and now Bolt's in big trouble. Good stuff from Peter so far to hold off, because now it's all still down towards a 1-on-3. Looking to make it happen with the aim deals. Flashbangs come forward, completely blind at Cbble. 1 at slope, 2 pushing forward right now. Peter should be caught off guard by this hold from Steel. He's just waiting around. We'll be able to spot out Def. There's 1 spray down coming forward, but Yaystar just wall bangs him for his troubles instead. So complexity to take a round, but I don't think it's going to deter Immortals too much. They're just going to buy AKs, and they might just 5-man charge B this time. They just might go, okay, we've done too much towards A and going through drop. Let's go drop into B this time around.
Would not be hugely surprising, and here again is the opportunity for Immortals to just reset that economy of complexity. You can see, again, complexity has to rebuy 3 guns through. Their money is not actually that good coming out of this round, and so Immortals, if they win this one, it'll be a complexity again on the eco. It just gives Immortals more and more chances to easily inflate that scoreline that they've got already so far. 7-2. This is still shaping up to be quite an impressive first half from Immortals, but they just don't want to let it slip, right? They need to shut this out.
Look at the fear coming out from Android. He's already out of drop. He's like in drop in the first 10 seconds and decides, no, it's not worth it. I'm not staying in here because Immortals could just charge through at any time.
Yeah.
And that's like that's the scary part for complexity right now, is that they don't know that Immortals are now slowed it down. Now they're going to be antsy because they had to blow all their utility early on because they're expecting Immortals to come fast. Now Immortals are finally set up for something, and Horvy's just locking down the angle. Should be taken down, but Def misses the shot with the AWP. They start pushing in. Horvy missed another one. Where's the backup? Oh, there is no backup coming in for Immortals because they've been locked out behind incendiary grenades as well as smoke grenades. Destiny's managed to make his way out through E-box, but that is it. There is no other further action towards B site. Double up setup working particularly well so far, and taking a little bit damage from the incendiary grenade. Destiny still here at E-box. They're going to swing on him though, and still only able to get for one before complexity come out on top. Now 2-on-4, and Dep still waiting around the B stairs. Much better holding coming out from complexity in his double up setup.
Definitely need a big individual play out from one of those Mortals players, and Bolts opens up onto Def. Does not know where Android is, but sees the head. No, he doesn't. How did he not see that head? And Zach left alone, 1 versus 3. Can the coach do it again here, Karath?
I don't think so.
You're a coach yourself, Coach Karath.
I don't think he can win this.
Karath
Too many angles to check at this particular point in time. Android's just going to stay hidden, and as soon as Zach drops down, he's going to be found out. There's too many people watching the crossfire, and
Thought that shot was on the money, but apparently not. So complexity do pull away a 3rd round for themselves. The money's still good enough for Immortals to afford a buy through, but at least it's a stabilizing round for complexity.
Immortals, like at this stage, should be like, okay, forget about the AWP, right? Just get all AKs, just go fast somewhere. They should literally be at the stage, let's just go and trash a position. They shouldn't wait around, because that's what's their downfall so far. They're waiting around, waiting for complexity to take the sites and like all rotate across. They just go fast in. See, like Slemmy is going to use a Molotov right now just to hold off this push, but what Immortals is going to do instead is they're going to walk in and just take him out. Normally you'd expect a flashbang, and here it is. Slemmy's going to throw a smoke. They're just going to flash through or just push as the timing blooms. And what do you do with Slemmy? Like, you don't expect 3 people to suddenly push you as soon as the smoke goes off.
No. But it works out for Immortals. And Steel's got himself in a really, really good position here as well. Somehow Peter spots him out though. Oh, he's over in stables. Kind of makes sense, I guess. I thought that Steel was going to get a few big frags as compLexity filtered in for the rotation, but timing is not quite there for him.
Where's the flashbang coming out from Peter? There is no flashbang, so Android can't really peek in towards mid for information. It's up to Bolts to make a move at the B site. Even if the Immortals are stacking towards the A bomb site, do they know they only have like 2 smoke grenades to work with and a rain of flashbangs? They need to nullify Peter because Peter is now in such really good form where he's just able to do so much damage on the A bomb site. And Immortals are splitting up as well. Steel, you can see, is very close towards door. But where's the pressure coming forward? See, once again, Peter just gets a pick very easy, gets the second pick. Where are the smokes? Where are the flashbangs? You can't just rely always on the dry peaks. Never going to work out all the time, and now Bolt should be the fatality. Nope, the 1-for-1 trade. And it's all up towards Zach. 1-on-3 once again, but I don't think he'll win it. He does have a better position because he's managed to, you know, sneak behind all the players in compLexity. Except for Yeaster, who's watching the line. And compLexity managed to make 4. And Immortals finally broken.
Are they?
Oh, not really. They can still buy. What? compLexity done so much good work in these last couple of rounds to keep these guns up. So at the very least, they can keep rifles in full utility going forward. But Immortals, they get a pick once again, and they just stall. They allow Peter just to get one-on-one angles, and Peter's very happy to play the one-on-one angles. He doesn't miss many of them today on Cobblestone. Come on, Immortals, just go fast somewhere. You know you want to.
2 flashes being thrown out into the B site, which you might expect to see followed up by some aggression, and indeed there is. Zach is having a bit of a look. He was so easily able to open up the B site on Mirage, but here on Cobblestone does not seem to be the same kind of a scenario. The A site push is out on the cards now, though, for Immortals. Peter misses that first shot onto Destiny. Slemmy is there with the crossfire. Just seems as though something has been lost now for Immortals. Everything seems to be going the way of compLexity as opposed to the other way around. The bomb and drop for Immortals. Let's get that crucial kill on a Def. Steel in the meanwhile is able to find one as well. It's a 2 versus 2. Peter's in such a good spot. Misses a big shot though. And that's the chance now. That's the opportunity, the opening maybe that Immortals need to grasp.
And Slemmy's going to miss that, unfortunately. So they know where Peter was roughly around. Steel's just jump spotting it. They know where he is now, and Steel's just going to swing wide. So compLexity, that's the danger of the double AWP, because as soon as you miss a shot, it really grants Immortals a chance, even though they're still low HP and low on members. And just a single fake towards the B site. Man, compLexity is going to fall, and they're going to have to eco in this round as well. Immortals, their economy is not looking the best of shape as well. And they're 2 AK-47s up. I mean, they can still keep forcing up. They're up so heavily ahead. They do need to be a little bit more cautious. Needs to probably respect compLexity just a little bit more.
Yeah, well, compLexity's back on the eco here. We're sort of suddenly looking again at maybe a 10-5 or 11-4 kind of a half here for Immortals. Spoltz does get the pushing Def.
You'd hate to see Def lose that, because there was a flashbang coming out as well. I really feel bad for Def, because that was really well timed for compLexity, and now they should gamble. Like, Immortals should at this stage just gamble the fact that they are going to be stacked on the A bomb site. You know, you don't have 3 people individually peeking one by one, and Steel should hear this and just kind of rotate and just watch a single angle. Zin is such a dangerous spot though, so he has to kind of gamble towards where he wants to go. Zach is just going to push into his own Molotov. The bomb plant will go down. compLexity will take a single AK-47 forward, and if they can get 2, they'll be pretty sick. But Immortals still with the rounds once again, and not much to say beyond that.
Where was that second AK dropped by Immortals?
There was no second AK. They want to drop a second AK. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm too tired, Kevin.
Yeah, I managed to bamboozle you.
Yeah, have bamboozled me. But yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point because both of those players do go down. Immortals will be at 9-4. Steel eventually does drop a second AK, incidentally, but it is not going to be retrievable from compLexity.
Why can't you pick up a second AK-47?
Dual
It's
wielder.
not like, not even dual wield, but like, you know, if you're a CT and you're like about to take it to the next round, you just be like one AK, just be like, just hold one down here maybe, just carry them, you know? Just cart them around. Maybe you should bring backpacks into this game.
There are backpacks, isn't there? Sometimes the CTs are carrying them.
No, that's like, they have like the utility belts and everything, but they don't really have a backpack. That's a good opening pick from Peter on towards Torvi, and most likely was towards mid.
Well,
Because he's already fallen back towards long A. So it might have been, you know, hopping out, gets the pick, comes back out.
All right, but what is Immortals going to do in response to this? They know that the buy from compLexity is not going to be that great. Peter with the AWP is actually glass cannon. Not much utility here available for compLexity either. So Immortals still in with a pretty good shot in this. And that could again turn their half into an 11-4.
They can still hold off the B-side take as well. Now Destiny's been taken out. compLexity have just been pushing as well. They've been playing no respect. And that's something they need to do against Immortals and try to catch them off guard. As Yeaster just shoulder peeking the angle. Peter's now come across. What a shot coming out from Peter. Now he's stepping up. He's doing some great work. Zach. He's been relatively quiet so far on Cobblestone. It's up to Steel to make a move at this position. But Depth is going to be... Oh no, Depth has been spotted out as well. They know where Peter is, but the flashbang comes forward. He's going to be completely blinded out. Shots coming out from Steel, but Android, sharp coming out from Android. The killing machine for compLexity. And compLexity might be able to make it into a 6-9 which would be pretty good. Immortals, though, should be able to buy up once again. They have quite enough cash to do so.
Yeah, 6-9 I think would be quite respectable actually from compLexity, given the way that we've seen Immortals going so far. Always sort of thought that Immortals were going to come away with a good first half, but 9-6, it doesn't sound quite as good as I was in my mind thinking would happen for Immortals.
Okay, so Galil as well has a UMP out alongside the three AK-47s. Depth just dancing up and trying to spray through to see if he can find any lucky shots onto the head of some of the members and maybe just incur some damage to make their job easier. This has really been helped out by the fact that compLexity have had a very iron-tight A-side hold after the first couple of times that they've managed to falter, and that's really thanks to Peter, as well as Android stepping up on towards the A-bomb site. Peter, that is a confident angle to hold. You don't normally see the AWP hold the window angle. Won't be able to land the shot this time, but Zach still holds the along A position and finds a pick. And Android just so good once again, just getting these kills, pushing in, no fear whatsoever. They will strike towards the B-side though, and Horby, oh dear, now down towards a 2-on-2. Bolt's going to be strafing across, still challenging the angle. Very confident in trying to take down Yeaster. But Peter's now come across with the AWP. No utility for him to use, but there it is. Drops Zach. And now down towards Bolts with the Galil. He's going to spot Yeaster at the very corner. Peter going to transition back, and Yeaster still doing some further damage. Oh, Peter missing an instrumental shot, because that's mean Bolts. That is huge with the Galil.
That is absolutely massive. And 10-5 is the first half once more. Don't know how that happens with the Galil, like you say, but look, Immortals, they're going to be pretty happy with that as they secure 15th round and puts them at 10. Certainly looks a lot better than 9-6 at this point. I think that tips the scales a little bit more for Immortals. It makes it look like Immortals have won that half instead of kind of it being more of a pass score, I think.
Absolutely. Now Immortals will be looking to close it out. Just a little bit of a break in between before we see whether or not they can, so stay tuned. We'll be back in 1.5 minutes. Everyone, and welcome back. Hello, everyone.
Thanks, Kevin.
I don't know what I was trying to say just then, but welcome back towards the EPL. Match day number 16. It is 10-5 so far for Immortals in the lead, and looking quite dominant on their T side. They're not really showing too much in terms of the strat book. I think anything that involves a little bit more strategy hasn't been working, and the things that don't need so much strategy, have been working.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair way to sum things up. I mean, really, it's come again down to individual plays out of Immortals, like what we saw in round number 15, the 2v1 clutch with the Galil. I mean, you just don't really expect that to happen, and it does.
With a Galil.
Galil!
It's the worst gun in the game. Like, outside of the... I can't even call the Glock bad anymore. So outside of the dualies, which has a very niche use. I've seen Stanislaw have a great use with the dualies. Outside of probably the Bison, because the Bison is
actually
trash. So it's like M249 probably as well in terms of just wasting your money.
Yeah.
It's not that great. And then somewhere around there, you probably have the Galil. It has its now usages because of the changes in terms of tapping and bursting, but still, you shouldn't be able to clutch like that with a Galil, especially against an AWP as well as an M4, and that really requires a specialist like Bolts. A fine touch, a little bit of luck.
Finesse.
No, not finessed. He plays for CLG.
I knew it. I set myself up for that, didn't I?
Yeah.
We'll see him next game, though.
Exactly, and it just depends on how long this game will take. I mean, how will complexity do is they're doing the around the world roller coaster, make noise here, make noise there, prank the CTs a little bit before they decide to commit to a bomb site.
Yes, but Immortals have more or less given up the A-bomb site. Destiny is going for a bit of an aggressive push and does get punished for that. Information, though, for Immortals that the A-bomb site is at least an option for complexity here, but still keeping the majority of their members over towards B.
I didn't like that from Destiny in particular because you've already conceded long A control. You don't really need to push mid for information. Now depth is on the late lurk as well, so complexity can still wrap on the A bomb side. And it's like Bolts has to go absolutely huge right now if they do decide to go through drop. They are. Let's see if complexity are committing, because there's one thing complexity do quite well is that they just run around on this pistol round and look at the position now depth has made. So they're going to go down through drop in towards A bomb site, and Bolts has a huge work to do to hold this off. And here we are. He's hearing them drop through. They're not checking the angle, and he's only going to find two. Can he find the third? At least equalizes the numbers and just stalls for a little bit more time. But Android, the killing machine, steps up and makes Zach the last lonely member on Immortals. So once again, complexity should be able to take this this pistol round. Oh, that's shot from Zach. But it was just better maneuvering coming out from complexity. They had time to work with. They used it perfectly, and they'll be rewarded with the first round on the T side. Look at that from Android. 20 kills already.
Imagine how much different that round would be if Destiny's still alive over towards the A-bomb site. Like
a little bit, yeah.
If he's just anchoring the A-bomb site, then Immortals don't have to play quite as aggressive in the connector. Maybe Bolt still gets that 2K, but it's a bit of a crossfire situation. Then for Immortals, complexity goes one way. They run into Destiny on the A-bomb site. They go the other way. They run into a few players over on the B-bomb site. So I think Destiny didn't necessarily lose that round for Immortals, but certainly made the job a lot more difficult for them and could have played a bit more passive there on that pistol. But I suppose Immortals are quite keen to play quite aggressive, and it's so far been working out as a general rule for them. This round, though, obviously, Immortals don't have much to work with apart from the CZs and the armor. Deagle on bolts, but overall, pistol armor not the easiest of weaponry to work with. Destiny's in a good close angle, but just gets completely demolished by Ye. And Bolt, not going to find anything there either.
Very good cleanup coming out from complexity, keeping all their guns up, doing damage, and before you know it, Android, he's been upgraded to the newest operating system. I think there might have been a couple of glitches in his killing programming coming out from Slemmy, and you can see it's been fixed today. Really just tightening all those nuts and bolts, and now
I know what they mean by the randomest things. That was one of the randomest things you've ever said.
What do you mean?
What? What do I mean?
Okay, so what we discussed yesterday with Mitch, because you don't like watching us anymore, Elfish guy.
I don't.
You're too in towards whatever you do these days. You're too good for us.
Sleeping.
Too good for us anymore.
Sleeping
and just more sleep.
Yeah.
Fast B site push. I'll continue the story after the action is over, but Slammy's shooting at absolutely nothing on the back of a single flashbang. Gillespie's doing a little bit of damage, but I don't think they'll be able to clean up. I mean, there's still too much HP on the members of complexity. Now Steel should be shut down by depth promptly with the AK-47. Nope, okay, Steel. Pretty sharp. It's got the smoke grenade, but they're still pushing in, and it's too much HP. The other story was, we're joking, because like you look at all these other names, you got a guy that's named Yay.
Yep.
Right? You got a guy that's named Depth with 2 H's. They're all like lowercase, Slemmy, like a little bit serious with S, and you just have like outright seriousness, Android-X23. All capitalized, all serious, right?
Okay.
And it's like, who named themselves as the Android X23? It's like the latest version of compLexity's killing machine. Like, he's been upgraded every single time as the EPLs go by.
I see.
And Slammy has now contributed a little bit of, you know, a little bit of tightening of the program to make sure Android becomes the finest creation he has ever come across.
That's an interesting analogy. Wouldn't it then be Android X6 though? Because we're in Season 6 of the Pro League.
Could be that he's just so many levels above, and now depth. He's had a quiet CT half, but T side's looking a little bit better right now on the entry, especially with the first kill. And Yeaster also going into the fun, and is just a complete shutdown on the side of compLexity until Bolts gets one. But by the time he picks up one, it's too late. He's going to have to just sprint it out of there. Or just stay as the course, I guess.
Yeah.
Why not?
compLexity making this second half look a little bit interesting now. This is going to be their 4th round, puts it at 10-9. Of course, early days still for Immortals here, but I feel like Immortals have been a little bit, not lazy on closing out the matches, but they've just been, you know, they've let compLexity come back into them a little bit. Obviously, that second half of Mirage, the second round pistol did go the way of compLexity as well, so I don't know. I mean, I would have just liked to see Immortals close this out because they looked really good on their first half, but now it's a bit of a sort of a bitter taste in your mouth, right?
Not really. compLexity have stepped up their game as well, and I can give accolades towards a team who now, you know, they had a rough CT half, gave them enough rounds to kind of work with, and now they're taking full advantage of the fact they were given a little bit of space to work with, and that's sometimes what you need in Counter-Strike. You pounce on the opportunities that the enemy team grants, and you make the most of it.
Forced buyout from Immortals here with just Bolts on the M4. Everyone else has got themselves pistols. Zach looks like he's perhaps saving for an AWP, having bought no armor. Where is Bolts? Oh, he's playing by Broken Wall. So definitely in a position to make an impact here. And if compLexity are not sort of expecting a rifle on the other side, maybe Immortals might sneak away with it around here.
I don't think so just yet. Flashbang's coming forward, but they're already out on towards Platts. The M4 has been taken out. Destiny wide swinging, but they can hear him coming out from a mile away. And Android 23.
Again, just hitting their shots really, compLexity. There wasn't much to that.
And they're coming in together. That's the most important thing. Like, if they swing out one by one, that might mean a different story. But they're actually swinging in together. And this is where, like, you want to see, okay, Yeastar's going to peek as soon as another guy's going to come in through window. So it doesn't matter, the situation still will not survive with the gun because compLexity, well, compLexity in a situation where Immortals are in at the moment, but playing a completely different style. Where instead of, like, sure, compLexity are going in fast, but instead of playing, like, individual aim deals, you do have the second and third person going in, and you do have other people running interference and just unsettling Immortals as well. And Immortals now, in their true buy round, they have to make this work out because otherwise there is a serious chance for compLexity to come back into this. compLexity are in really good shape right now coming in towards this T side, and as long as they keep their composure and Slim is calling out the correct things, there is no reason why they should drop any more rounds from here on in because they're winning the aim deals. Immortals are starting to look a little bit cold. And the newer players on the B side have to step up. Destiny, Horvey, and Zach are playing the B side with Steel and Bolts back on towards the preferred A side. This is normally where they play. They should be playing this with great success. They have to be. There's an incendiary grenade just to make sure that the T's can't push forward. There's really good timing coming out from Bolts as well just to secure this position. But I think the T's are still interested in pushing towards the A bomb site. There's a flashbang. Bolts still making noise close, but he knows he's got backup from Steel to make sure there's no one through danger. But look at this push coming in from Death. No fear whatsoever. He knows he can take the deals. He'll take the deals. He'll win them as well alongside with Slemmy. And now the smoke should come up onto the cross, and Immortals might just have to call for the save if Horvey cannot, or Destiny cannot pick any players off from balcony. There's the smoke coming forward. Shooting coming forward from Zach. Depth spraying forward through the smoke. Beautiful stuff coming out from compLexity.
What are you going to do as Immortals? I mean, you said that compLexity have been given the chance to come back into this one. I would say they've already come back into this one, to be honest. And
absolutely, because that was a full buy round coming from Immortals, and we didn't see much coming from Immortals in that one. There was like no change. It wasn't as like, say for example, compLexity, the CT rounds they won, they took a little bit of risk and whatever, and Immortals didn't really, you know, respond accordingly or retaliate. But now it's just like compLexity just stepping it up, and they realize that this is a game that they need to win 100%. So yeah, sure, Android loses his life, but you've got so much money to work with. You want to be taking these guns away from Immortals. compLexity are now in the lead for the first time in a very long time. If they've ever been in the lead in this game, they have at one stage in Mirage. I don't think they've been in the lead in Cobblestone.
Yeah, they were on the lead in rushed. Definitely not on cobblestone.
Cobblestone just felt like it was like the Immortals train, the complexity finally have shut it down, and now they're slowly starting to come back, and Immortals don't have an answer for this.
6 in a row on the T side here for complexity. It'll be another bad buy, not even a buy. Oh, it is a buy from Immortals. What are they doing here? Just forcing into every single round, it seems, and I don't know about that. Complexity starting to get that ball rolling. Just seems like they're not going to lose a round anywhere at all. The MJill's working very well. Everyone on complexity is stepping up. We've seen big rounds from Def, Slemmy, Android. Peter was getting involved with that AWP earlier on in the first half. I suppose Ye's still been a little bit quiet, but you don't need everyone on complexity to be firing.
You see what I mean now by inconsistency?
Yeah.
Like, when they're firing on all cylinders, they look so good. And it's like, once again, like, yeah, they're winning the aim deals, but they're coming in, not one by one, but together to make sure they capitalize on the success. Because you can see, like, previous complexity, they would have Def step out, lose the aim deal, Bolts will still be there, and then Yeastar will straight out through the smoke. He'll get killed as well, and all of a sudden it's 3 and 5. But they're swinging together. At the very least, if Bolts either has to go huge or complexity with the percentage game, should be able to win that most of the time. Now they're playing it slow after they got the first pick in the back of the AWP, thanks to Peter.
That gets one there onto Def, who was kind of just chilling around on A-Long. Not sure where Peter was. I suppose he must be just watching mid.
This is what I don't like, see? Like, you're having individual players now swinging across, because it means that you can be granted opportunities very easily for Immortals to steal a gun and try to hold from a favorable position. But Android doesn't care because he goes favorable position, but I see heads and I just kill people. They should know Zach is close rock as well, so just waiting for Peter to swing around before they decide to go in together. No need to kind of risk it, but they are going to be risking it. Oh, Zach going a little bit big right now. Still hiding behind the rock. Peter, does he have a Molotov? Yes, he does. But, oh my goodness, surely complexity don't lose this. They've just lost it. They've just thrown everything away because Zach has just gone huge man mode.
And Kevin's pretty much more or less walked away from the studio right now because that was a big round out from Zach.
That was huge. Like, they all group up. It's like, yeah, okay, we know he's around here somewhere. Individual
How many
pick.
bullets did he have left?
With
7?
Yeah, so he had about 2 bullets left at the end of that kill.
Yeah, called it. 2 bullets left in that CZ. Oh,
see,
my
even when I'm tilted, I can still count. I don't know. You can make of that what you will.
I could make a joke about you being Asian.
I think that's been already done. That's
low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. Yeah. Overdone _ meme.
Yeah. Probably. Anyway, Immortals put it back to 11-11, and maybe that is the second wind in their sails that they do need. However, it is only 1 round at this point, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
But it's, once again, complexity. They're looking so strong. Like, I was praising them, and then they go out 1 by 1. They knew vaguely where he was. Why not just have Peter throw the Molotov? They could hear them coming in, so it's like, okay, it could be around the B side. All right, Peter, throw a Molotov towards Rock. We'll throw a couple of flashbangs out, and we'll play. But no, they just decide to go and drive when they had the utility to work with. So they're not doing themselves any favor by dropping easy rounds, and that really was an easy round. And sure, Zach went huge, but this is the round they have to take. Android, there it is. Once again, Android wants to make up for the previous round and still should be walking into his death. Peter's just been waiting and watching the angle the entire time.
Indeed, he is. Still does go down, and now Destiny on the rotate. Android holding a close angle. Does get one onto Zach. It does go down for his trouble, but a 2-for-1 for Android overall. You have to think that's pretty worthwhile for him. Destiny does manage to get out to ABC. Peter spots him out, but the trade should be there for Slemmy, and it is 2 versus 1 now as Horby also finds a frag for himself. The rotation, though, from Def has been long. Over towards long as well.
How does he know? What does he do?
Don't ask me, Kevin.
He should know that Slemmy's tagged down.
All right,
well,
what's
going on?
Immortals now being reset.
They were forced still.
Zach's got an AWP, but presumably no money for any armor.
Yeah, imagine if complexity dropped this.
That would be...
I'm not going to finish that thought. That would be slightly depressing.
That'd be like rocking up to a party and expecting spirits and then finding just goon.
No.
Yes, it would.
No. I don't know. It depends on which kind of mood you are in.
Yeah, premium good mood.
Premium good mood is now Destiny under a little bit of pressure from Slemmy. Oh, Slemmy, he's looking to be a millionaire right now because he's got the Mac 10 in hand. Oh, but Orby pushing in, gets 2 before he's traded out. Okay, Complexity at the very least do consolidate themselves. They line up and very, very quick trades happening back and forth. That drop, but Complexity still come up favorable towards the end, even though It was a little bit scary in the back of Horvy's P250, but now Immortals on the eco. And compLexity should be going up 14-11. I say should, but I've seen a lot of things happen this game so far.
Me too. Me too. 13-11. compLexity with the more or less full buy. In this situation, Slemmy with the Mac 10 might as well be a full buy, given that there is really nothing on Immortals to work with apart from one P250 on bolts, which is barely even worth mentioning at this point. Molotovs do come out from compLexity. This is looking a little bit better from them. Yeaster going forward. Doesn't manage to hit any of those shots, and there is a frag coming out for Immortals, but that might be all that they can hope for. No, bolts does find one more. Still Steel left alive just with 16 HP. It's been a pretty decent anti-eco really from compLexity. Like you mentioned, it should be 14-11 now after this one. Def caught out napping.
Still going to go in for it though. I don't think this is well advised considering he's on 16 HP, but why not?
Because he's on 16 HP.
Is going, oh, you know, the smart decision right now is to save, but what I'm going to do is just peek around multiple points where the T's could kill me and then back out.
And then save.
And then save. And compLexity just left scratching their heads going, like, what was that all about? And then before they back out. Maybe, like, it's still, like, if he found, like, a chance headshot, it would have been compLexity overextending a little bit, but, and some brilliant play coming out from Steel, but compLexity aren't going to grant the opportunities. They know they can play around time as well as the objectives. So they're now 2 points away from taking Cobblestone off of Immortals. Really the final buy for Immortals to kind of make things happen. If they drop this, then they're in...
Deep diddly.
They're in deep doo-doo.
Yep.
Oh, coming out for Horvy, no armor. But compLexity, everything you want to work with, except for maybe an HE grenade on Peter, but he might have used it already because he's going fast towards long A. Horvy now deployed with the scope, but needs to be cautious because Slemmy can peek out. He will be able to back out just in time, though. Just redeploying himself with the AWP as the rest of compLexity now stacking up. Drop room control taken very easily, as a matter of fact. 2 people already out. Oh my goodness, Bolts.
What is going on? Bolts gets 3. compLexity.
He's not even touched. Like, huh?
Yeah, I think that's probably...
I'm left like scratching my head a little bit because like that is a dangerous position to take where it's just going in for a massive chance play. It doesn't work out, and well, individual peeking one by one, and Steel is the only fatality. They know where the bomb is. They're all closing in the position. As Destiny pushing forward will be able to get the final kill. And Immortals granted a little bit of a lifeline.
So, compLexity with a good buy through again. They've had a lot of money, obviously, in this half. So far, only dropping 2 rounds, actually. Immortals, remember, did come into this one at 10-5. And
yeah,
so
imagine that. It's like 1 round.
It's 9 versus 2 at the moment in the second half.
Yeah. Not much to say in terms of going wrong for compLexity. In the back of that round, it was really just 3 people trying to push out, trying to try something new, and Slemmy, or Yeaster this time actually, will try and find the headshot towards Horvy. Unfortunate not to do so, and Depp actually loses life very early on towards Steel peeking out. And now, Horvy tags one down. Here's the Molotov coming in. Deep Molotov from Destiny will finish off Yeaster. Blind shots coming forward from... Peter does not connect, and Horvy just lining up the smoke grenade. He can play around this for a very, very long time. He doesn't really have much that he needs to do.
Is this going to be compLexity just letting Cobblestone slip? They're at 12-14 right now, soon to be 13-14, and Immortals slowly but surely edging their way back into this second half. It looked like compLexity were really just ready to shut it out, but perhaps they haven't quite done enough in their first half. Maybe if they would have gotten 6 or 7 rounds, compLexity would have already shut this out by now, but it seems as though Immortal maybe have got enough. And compLexity teetering on the brink of a loss. It is their map to lose, though. They are in a position to close it out. And if Immortals were to come back into this one, you'd have to say compLexity really did let it slip, but...
Just a little bit, but I think Immortals also finally decide to start taking it a little bit more seriously as well. And Steel has been pushed off the angle. Now they know that there's one towards cannons as well. Those are some great entries coming out from compLexity to bring it back towards an equalized situation. HP advantage barely in the favor of Immortals, but still, they have a lot of positioning they need to push forward. And look at Horvy. He doesn't even know if there's one late lurk because they've only spotted out 2 on towards the A bomb site. Android playing close. This is the best position to place if you're low HP. You might as well gamble, hope that when a CT is pushing out, you can find the headshot, but no one's actually going out through balcony. One coming out through slope, and now Zach is going to be found out. One coming in through danger. One spot out slope, but Peter's still playing towards. Oh, no scope. He legs him. Does a lot of damage, and this makes the job of compLexity so much easier to close out towards the final round. Slamming almost misses it, but we'll be able to do so at the end of the day. compLexity, match points to work with. Immortals
is so bad for Immortals as well, because that's a reset here
exactly.
too. 12 and 15, like, that probably was Immortals' round to lose, to be honest, and they do manage to find a way to lose it.
But compLexity, they play together once again. They get the entries working in their favor. That single Molotov gets the information the AWPer has to move off a very strong line of default. Cannons has to engage as the AWPer is shifting. Cannons loses the duel. And then the AWPer is just out of position and is just free target gallery for the rest of compLexity to shoot. Rest of the members, because they're playing default, can't really play aggressive. And now Steel has to just whip up some magic right now. There it is. He's tagged down. Oh, he nearly gets the second kill. Tags down Def so low.
That was nearly something for Steel, and in fact, it was a pretty good sort of a trade, to be honest. Like a 1-for-1 plus 91 damage done over to Def. You're probably going to take that if it's given to you, and so it's not a bad start for Immortals here. Admittedly, it does give the advantage over to compLexity in terms of that player situation, 4 versus 4. They are going to be entering those bomb sites with a advantageous situation. You know, you're not expecting to see more than 2 or 3 players on each bomb site when there is 4 players left alive for Immortals. So compLexity still in with a decent shot in this one. And they do as well, of course, have that weaponry advantage. The utility lacking a little bit, though, for the T side. And so they are just going to dry peek into this B bomb site. Not seeing too much out just yet. More of a holdover towards A, actually, from Immortals than you might expect in this situation. And so that might make the job a little easier for compLexity, as Zach, the timing is bad for him, and Peter shuts him down. And you're right, that probably is it. Immortals now 2 versus 4 have to make their way into this bomb site. Though that grenade from Bolts could be good enough for 2 frags if he gets it right.
He has to land it correctly, though. And this is position, oh my goodness, there's the first shot missed. Android is now locking down the angle. Peter just through the edge of the wall and Bolts. Oh my goodness, Peter through the smoke. He doesn't even need to establish what's going on. He goes, oh, Porville's probably boosted up. It's going to be one cheeky guy waiting inside drop room. And compLexity do manage to take a victory. Congratulations to them. Really happy to see once again on the T side. But why?
Like, why?
But why? It's like,
why?
But why? Because they just suddenly they show up and it's like, this is, I'm so happy for them. I'm so excited. I've become a fan once again. You know, call me a fan droid, whatever. And then you go forward towards the next game and then the T side goes missing and you just left there scratching your head going, what's going on? It's just so inconsistent.
Yeah. It is inconsistent, but
really well played by them for the T side. You can't take anything away.
Yeah.
A couple of rounds that gave Immortals a bit of a chance. It was a little bit scary for, you know, compLexity. Maybe they could have lost it, but they composed themselves, went in together, and made the correct percentage plays. They didn't do something like, didn't make, quote unquote, Mitch, the dumb plays which would have lost them the game. They went in and actually played it really smart.
Is that what Mitch says on the broadcast?
Yeah, he goes, look, sometimes like when you're losing like this against a really good team, you're just going to make the dumb plays and just try to catch them off guard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, righto. Well, interesting. But certainly compLexity did make that one work. This round was a bit iffy, which kind of gave Immortals a bit of a sniff back into this second half, but it seemed as though compLexity were able to stabilize pretty quickly apart from that. I mean, I almost thought that Immortals were going to come back into that one and end up winning the map, and I was kind of gearing up for it, and then all of a sudden they end up losing that 3 versus 5 round, and, well, compLexity kind of just sweep away with the victory there, 16 and 12. Overall, you got to say for compLexity, I think that's probably a pretty reasonable result to get a 1-1 tonight against Immortals.
Very, very good result for compLexity, given the fact that when we saw on Mirage, you know, I think Mirage, like we said that it wasn't as close of a contest just simply because of the fact that a lot of the time Immortals was pushing, they were playing it very pug style, and it's so difficult to adapt when you're trying to play structure and everything, you're trying to do the right thing, you're just getting pushed upon. Immortals had the perfect B-side hold in terms of the aggressive AWP, they were always getting information, always knew how to adapt to the situation, and some critical plays coming out from some of the members meant that they didn't really give themselves a chance with 2 little T rounds, and then afterwards, the aim for Immortals are on point. We flipped it around this time around. compLexity, their aim was on point on the T side. Not much that Immortals could do. They didn't really step up to the job. And as a result, they left too many rounds go, probably, you know, left them go freely for compLexity to take. compLexity had a massive bank to work with, a lot of confidence, and there it is. Very, very easy for them to then take it out.
Yeah, it did seem as though it was kind of a similar sort of a matchup, really, actually, for complexity there on the second map as it was for Immortals on the first map, where they were just walking in, they were winning aim duels, and it just seemed really easy for them, at least in that second half, obviously.
Yes.
So you can kind of draw parallels between map 1 and map 2, but you just reverse the teams, and yeah, obviously we end up with a 1-1. I think Immortals overall probably looked like the better team. I mean, 16-9 in the first map, 16-12 in the second. I do think Immortals looked a little bit better, but overall, like it's a 1-1 anyway.
Yeah,
so.
they look better out of 3 of the 4 halves, but the last half, they kind of fell off. Complexity finally showed a little bit of life, and that's the complexity that we know can hit that peak. They can definitely play some structured, strong Counter-Strike. But that is it between Immortals as well as Complexity. We'll be jumping onto our next series between Ghost and CLG coming up, but we'll be back after a short break. Until then, get some snacks and kick back and relax. We'll be back shortly with more action.